You will get mugged, your camera will be stolen, you will receive fake bank alerts, you'll reach out, the camera, they work again. All these things have definitely run through your mind when considering buying used gear. But here are some tips to help you overcome some of these fears, because there are actually advantages to buying used gear. Tip number one is to try as much as possible to buy from reputable retailers like Amazon, MPB, Adorama, B&H, etc. They have used sections where you can actually buy used gear that are actually in really good conditions. And sometimes you might be lucky, you might also find some refurbished items, but just to let you know, those things sell really quickly. Now, this is not to say that you shouldn't buy from individuals. I myself have sold 5 cameras within the last 9 years, both in the UK and Nigeria. Just have in mind that if you want to buy from an individual, and now this is tip number 2, if you want to buy from an individual, try as much as possible to buy it on a platform that can protect you in the event that something goes wrong. For example, you have to return it and you need to get your money back. A good example would be platforms like eBay and MPB. I once bought an old Canon FD 70-200 and 10mm lens on eBay. I bought it on eBay, and by the time the lens arrived, I noticed that there were some smudges and kind of mold on the lens. I tried to reach the guy who sold it to me. He wasn't responding, so I laid a complaint, and the transaction was also made through PayPal. My money was very easily refunded back to me, and I sent the lens back to the guy free of charge. So that's just the advantage of using some of these platforms. They can protect you in the event of someone trying to corner you. And now, third tip, which is the not so great option, although it depends on whether you're on the receiving end or whether you're the one doing the selling, and that is buying directly from P2P sites. So this is like sites that don't offer certain protection. The site simply just facilitates the bringing together of 2 individuals who wants to trade. However you trade, whatever happens in the trade, it's entirely up to you. A very popular example would be Craigslist. I don't know if it still exists. I don't live in the US. Camera forums is also a good place. And then for those of us here in Nigeria, we have GG. We used to have OLX. I don't know if they still work, but yeah, GG's. And not just P2P, there's also B2P. You can also meet businesses who are actually advertising on some of these platforms. And they're also, selling brand new stuff and not just used items. If you like this content, please take a moment to subscribe and drop a comment. Thank you. Personally, I've only ever had good experiences, except for the Canon FD time that I told you about. But then again, I've always been the one selling. I sold via MPB when I was in the UK, and I've sold 3 other cameras via GG. I take good care of my gear, and so I've never had any buyer call me up to say, oh, there was something wrong with the equipment or anything like that. In fact, what I've had is they were so impressed by the condition of my gear that they were curious to start asking me if I had other gear to sell. Now, if you're watching this video, you are probably not the one selling it, rather you're the one looking to buy. So here are some tips that can help you not be waylaid. Number 1 would be check for sellers that have a ton of pictures of the item. The more pictures of the item that is there, the more it will be easier for you to spot any defects or any issues that might. I see some people, they're selling a camera and they only have 3 pictures of the camera up. No, that's a red flag. It might come off as they're trying to hide something. Look for more pictures. And even if they did not post it by themselves, you actually ask them, let them know that, hey, send me more pictures. Send me a picture of the battery. Open the battery, send it to me. Open the sensor, take a picture and send it to me. These are preliminary things to know whether you should even waste your time or transport money to even go and meet this person. If the pricing is too good to be true, then it is. Run away. Definitely, there are people who would want to price theirs a little lower so that they can beat competition, basically, and encourage you to buy from them. But there is also the point where low is too low. So imagine now that what you want to buy, that you're seeing different sellers. You have the one selling it for 800, you have the one selling it for 850, in between that range. And then this guy or this woman from nowhere pops up her own and she's selling it for 420K or something like that. Why? What happened to this? calm down. You need to investigate a little more, all right, so you don't get yourself into trouble. Confirm. Number 3 tip will be to confirm the description of the thing matches with what you're seeing. Sometimes it might be that they are trying to dwindle you, but sometimes it might actually be a genuine typo error. There's something that might be made with plastic. The person would not write it there. The person just copied what he saw on B&H and pasted it there, and you find that, oh, he's writing carbon fiber, meanwhile it's plastic. Just be sure that the description is what you want to buy. Don't be like those people that went to buy the picture of a PS5 instead of the PS5 itself. Tip number 4, I think this one is a no-brainer. You need to meet in a public place. Don't invite them to your house, okay? You don't know these people, they're strangers. They can come and rob you if you're the one selling, and you yourself don't just go and meet somebody in their own house. They can be kidnappers or ritualists. They will catch you. Meet in a public place, okay? In the daytime, take your time. Take enough time to go through the equipment, check it properly. If you're buying a car, you would check it properly. You would even bring a mechanic with you. Put a battery in it, power the camera up. If you have a lens, bring a lens with you, and that's tip number 4 as well. Bring stuff that you would use to test it. For example, bring a memory card, put the lens on, make sure that there is no issue on the sensor, film with it, record to your memory card, film with it, put the memory card in a laptop and check for any issues. There might be dead pixels, or there might be a smudge or something that you probably couldn't see physically, but it shows up on all the footage shot with that thing. Take your time and actually do those tests so that your mind is at peace, okay? And then last but not least, cash is better. Just pay and that's it. If you do something like transfer, you're kind of opening yourself up to fake bank alerts and all of that. But that being said, if it's a camera you're buying, you definitely don't want to be carrying that amount of cash with you. But I mean, it depends on the part of the world that you are. Here in Nigeria, you want to buy a camera that's over $1 million. You really want to be holding 1 million naira cash in your hand? I don't think so. In the UK, it may not be that much. I sold my Canon 6D with a lens for about 1,100 pounds thereabout. It wasn't that much cash. In terms of the notes, it was that much cash in terms of the cash available. But, you know, if you must do transfer, just make sure that you confirm by opening your actual bank account. Don't just trust the credit alert that you receive. Also, they should send you a receipt, like a sent receipt on their own end, just to confirm, because these are the things you use to checkmate fake bank alerts, okay? Any other way of buying used gear outside of the things that I have spoken about, or your OYO is your case, do it at your own risk. I do not endorse it, okay? So as a follow-up to this video, you should check out this video where I talk about how not to waste money, especially as a creative, all right? I talk about some of the common mistakes that we creatives tend to make, especially when it comes to finances. And since we're talking about buying used gear, you should definitely go watch that video, all right?